Hello and welcome back to another day in the arena. It's me, it's CGB, and today we are playing a mono black deck that takes advantage of some of the new Final Fantasy characters from the mainline games and combines them with some Magic the Gathering classics to get effects that players love. So whether you enjoy playing decks like Death Shadow in Modern or playing with hot new Final Fantasy cards like Cecil Dark Knight, or if you like standard classics of the past like Dark Confidant, this deck has a little something for you. Let's get into it. We get to try to reduce our life total to take advantage with powerful effects. A card that does that incredibly well is Cecil Dark Knight, which when you have less than half or equal your starting life total, you can untap and transform this into Cecil Redeemed Paladin, completing the story of the redeemed Paladin. Obviously, it's right there. So this becomes a 4/4 lifelink, and then when Cecil attacks, it protects your other attacking creatures by giving them indestructible until end of turn, letting you rebuild that life total that you lost. What you get in return is a 1-mana 2/3 with Death Touch, and whenever it is dealing damage, you lose that much life. So this is a really effective card at reducing your life total on the front and then flipping it to gain it back on the back, which makes it really fun. You have to manipulate your life total here and there and try to get it to half as quickly as possible so you get a 4/4 for just 1 mana, but then you don't want to die, so you have to gain it back. That's the joy in this deck. We have other things to help you. Dark Confidant is a popular reprint, is a 2/1, and at the beginning of your upkeep, reveal the top card of your library and put that into your hand. You lose life equal to its mana value. You may hear me call this a Bob. That is a reference to the person who was originally featured on the art of Dark Confidant after winning a tournament that allowed you to have your likeness featured on a card, and that was Bob Maher, a Magic the Gathering competitive legend from back in the day. So if you hear the word Bob, that is why. Then also we have Dark Knight's Greatsword. This is 2 and a black. It comes in with a hero on the job select, and it gives equipped creature +3/+0 and makes it a knight in addition to other types. And then for the Chaos Bringer ability, equip is pay 3 life, activate once a turn. The idea is you slam this down, pay 3 life, and now you can either gain life or lose life very quickly while also pressuring your opponent brutally. If you put the Dark Knight's Greatsword on the Cecil, then when this deals damage, you lose that much life, so you're losing 5, which might transform Cecil very quickly. On the other hand, if you put it on a Deep Cavern Bat, you have an evasive 4-power lifelink hit. That can be really sweet as well. You can use it to power up other life loss effects that we'll get to right here, or you can use it to gain that life back. It's a very versatile card. And the hero tokens, as well as duplicates of the Greatsword, go well with Midgar, City of Mako, a 4 of town in our mana base, an adventure that does tap for black, but an adventure rector raid spell sorcery that lets you sack an artifact or creature to draw 2 cards. We're trying not to flood out here, so we put some value in our mana base. Those are the new cards, but you might have guessed that we're running a card that was introduced in Aether Drift that reminds many people of a card that this deck would go so perfect in this deck, and that card is Death Shadow, a modern staple. The last ride is 1 black for a 13/13 legendary vehicle, and it gets -X/-X, where X is your life total. But it's not always a creature, so you can play this on turn 1 and not have it just go straight to the graveyard. It has a sweet ability of 2 and a black to pay 2 life to draw a card. In this deck, sometimes we want to lower our life total, sometimes we want to use it to turn into card draw, sometimes we want to gain that life back. But the last ride lets us always turn extra life into card draw. Now that we've introduced that, we see the other mono black staple cards. We're trying to keep our opponent's aggressive red creatures dead with spells like Cut Down and Go for the Throat. We're trying to keep their control strategies off balance with cards like Duress and Deep Cavern Bat. We're trying to just have something on the board hitting them and maybe threatening to dig into their graveyard for value, like Tiny Bones the Pickpocket. Death Touch creatures also trade really well with the red cards in this format, using things like Monstrous Rage. And we have 4 Ghost Vacuums, which throws the graveyard decks off of their game plan very effectively, while also letting us stock up on creatures from our graveyard, since we don't use our graveyard really at all, and possibly make spirit versions of those later in the game to then push through and defeat our opponent. So if this sounds like a fun life manipulation deck that you want to get into, and you absolutely should, let's dive in and let this nonsense begin. 2 vacuums, a last ride, a duress, and a confidant. We go to work. We don't have removal, but we can hope that our confidant finds it for us. We can also hope we're up against omniscience and that vacuum stifles them. And that is a swamp. I don't think there's a reason to play the vacuum or the last ride right now. Let's duress and see what we see. That is mono black. So they're going after our graveyard with betrayal. They have a sweeper and deadly cover up, and they have a go for the throat. All of these are problems. How do we keep them from getting to Bob? I guess we want to take the instant speed one the most. We pass. We have our own betrayal. So I play this, then maybe they don't get to play their slasher on time, or we just take the betrayal now because it's sorcery speed and they can't kill the bat in response. Never mind. Why wouldn't they draw what they need? Okay, cool. Love that. But they do have to play a tap land, Hidden Necropolis, a cave that discovers if you sacrifice it. The third vacuum is just so Magic the Gathering here. Let's play this and this. They are certainly ready for a number of things the opponent could throw at us. But if we draw a land, we can start drawing cards with the last ride. That'll feel good. But I really don't want to just run this Confidant out to die. Of course, our opponent's showing us all the removal. So maybe there's just no hope. Maybe anything we play will, in fact, die to will get the Confidant killed. All right, they go for the slasher. That's going to be a strategic betrayal for us. But since they're also going to attack our graveyard with strategic betrayal, I'm going to exile this bat and have it under the vacuum in case it comes to that. Also, them not having a graveyard is going to be nice for us. Did you see that pause? I think they drew another cut down. If they don't have a graveyard, then the deadly cover-up doesn't get to pick a card and exile it from our deck permanently. So that can be nice. We still need to draw a second land. It's third land. I can count. It's fine. They're thinking about sacking the Necropolis. They probably should. Unless they're just satisfied with doing nothing. But maybe they feel like they are a control deck so they can do nothing. Seems like that's the case. So, we can start drawing cards with the last ride. Or we could play Dark Confidant, which will get killed. This is as a sorcery. Yep, let's wait. We're going to draw cards. I like drawing cards. If they want to play control, I'll show them control. They want to sit back on all of their removal spells. I'll get ahead this way. What could go wrong with that? If they had some kind of a burn effect? No way. Also, I'll keep picking cards out of my graveyard because then the deadly cover-up can't take them. I don't need my graveyard. I've designed the deck with this in mind. We're doing fine. Everything's fine. See, they got their 5th land. They know they don't need any more land, so they activate Cave. They get a Sheoldred's Edict into their hand, so they're just going to keep sitting on their removal. That's okay. They're still not drawing 2 cards a turn, and we are. Give me that Cave. Play this. Might as well get another vacuum on the field. Oh, they're going to make me discard? Okay. Nice. Let's discard a Dark Confidant. Is that what we want to do? Nah, it's not. I'll discard the cut down. No, I'll discard the vacuum. There's no way we need another one. We might as well still make them play their removal spells on the Confidants. Yep, level 2. So it's a discard deck? This is the first discard effect we've seen. So now at the beginning of my upkeep, if I have fewer than X cards in hand, I lose 2 life. Shouldn't be a problem. The last ride is actually showing its grindy potential in this matchup. You love to see that. Yeah, they can't get to it with a deadly cover-up if it's already exiled. Brilliant. Okay, here comes Tiny Bones, which eats some of these sacrifice effects pretty effectively. And yeah, let's keep using the last ride instead of playing a Bob that's just going to die. So, nowhere to run. That is acceptable. Tiny Bones dies, we can get it with a vacuum. Okay, that's a creature that can be removed by Go for the Throat. I don't know why they would activate it right now. It can't attack. And it does give me something to do with my mana. But I'm still going to draw. I'm in no rush. I'd rather use 3 mana to draw than 2 mana to Go for the Throat. That's a lot of land. Okay. Kill that off. 3 mana to draw again. Or Dark Confidant. Well, they can't pay the mana this turn. They will probably target it with the Strategic Betrayal. We could also try attacking with the last ride, but a cut down would be pretty heartbreaking. Liliana, not bad.
No more distractions. Let's make this quick.
Mono black versus mono black. A resource war if ever there's been one. And they go for the sacrifice effect. We could power up the last ride, but it's drawing us cards. We like it. Okay. Plus we can get a Bob with a vacuum.
Personal space.
Well, let's keep putting all the creatures we can under the ghost, this one ghost vacuum, so when we sacrifice it, we get a lot for our mana. And then we'll use this one to just keep picking off their graveyard. They do have mana up for an edict. 7 mana. The last ride can swing for 1, but it needs to be crewed for 2, and they have an edict. We are playing into a deadly cover-up if we play 2 creatures here, but I think we have to. We gotta beat the deadly cover-up somehow. So yeah, we play Tiny Bones first. So if they play Sheldred's Edict, we sack Tiny Bones instead of Dark Confidant. Then we play Dark Confidant and crew the last ride and kill the Liliana. Because this is a crew too. Tiny Bones down. And now, since they use the Edict anyway, I'm really happy about that. Their deadly cover-up isn't that good.
We're supposed to go.
We are at 2 cards. We have to watch out for Bandit's Talent. Yep, here's the Betrayal. So they're going to exile the graveyard. Let's go for their Liliana on this vacuum, and let's go for the Tiny Bones on the other vacuum, because on this vacuum there's already a Tiny Bones. They're really holding on to that deadly cover-up. Okay, that Preacher's a problem. Let's draw. Okay, a Greatsword and a Bat. They don't want a deadly cover-up now. I think this vacuum is pretty good here. It gives us a Death Toucher to take on this Preacher. And then we might want to hold this land. So let's do 6 sacrifice. Take their Betrayal. What would I give up? The bat itself, probably. Like, if they're gonna deadly cover up here, they blow up their own Preacher, and that's fine. And it is all their mana. Or the Betrayal. If we take that and they cast the Betrayal, what do? Give up Bob? And then block with the Tiny Bones, kill their Preacher? That's fine. Okay, I do take the cover up. Okay, that's good. Also, we could just play this bat, take their Betrayal. Yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it. They can't top deck another removal spell, right? That would be crazy. Never happens. Okay. Just the land. All right, what's in there? There's not a permanent in there for Tiny Bones. So Tiny Bones will just trade with the Preacher if they dare attack with it. Okay. They do get a card. They really wanted that card. Is that the removal spell they need? They're holding priority. They don't want me to go to blocks. I'm going to blocks. Think I'm letting you live? No way. No way. And now they better triumph it. Because they want to keep their Preacher for draw next turn. Fair enough. If you want it that bad, you can have it. And now they power up a Sanctuary. So we don't want another Tiny Bones under this vacuum. We'll go after cards in their graveyard to keep them from collecting evidence. And then Dark Confidant, let's go. That is a cut down. It's like a lot of cut down. We're at 9. Ooh, it's getting scary in here. So the last ride could go to work here. I love it. Let's do it. So this is fun. You crew the last ride with the token. You move the Greatsword to a bat. And now you hit him for 11, but then this will shrink afterwards. I think Dark Confidant might block here. We go to 4. We go back up to 11. Cecil comes out to play with a little Death Touch. And we pass the turn. The power of the Dark Knight's Greatsword showing up here. They finally found their cut down. Okay. They have the mana for a deadly cover-up. It does kill their own creatures. And we have a last ride. How's their... They are 1 short of collecting evidence. Not that exiling something permanently would be terrible for us right now, but it wouldn't be fun. It does mean we don't want to kill the Preacher. Yep, they get a little lifelinker. So I think we're just blocking with Dark Confidant. Because we don't want evidence to exile stuff. They have to think about Greatsword on bat next turn, so they have to cast Deadly Cover-Up. They have to. And there's lots of good stuff in the graveyard now. We can set up another bat. Yeah, Vacuum can go to work. We can also get the Preacher. Yeah, you can tell they really wanted to collect evidence there to keep the Ghost Vacuum from getting the Preacher. It's not going to happen. You've got to do it, or I'm just going to kill you with the Greatsword. I'm going to put the Greatsword on the bat. You've got nothing. You have to cast it. They do not. I guess they have decided they can't win that game, and they're hoping I don't see this line. And also if we cast this, we lose 2 life, which isn't the worst thing, but I think I'd rather just draw. And now we can cast it. I'm sure their hope is that I just mess up somewhere, but all I have to do is pay 3 life, equip here, swing here, and that's game. In the battle of the mono black decks, we found the lines, and it turned out that using Ghost Vacuum mattered a lot. Last Ride also carried us. It was a beautiful, beautiful last ride. Pickpocket, Deep Cavern Bat removal. This is a classic mono black hand. The new cards aren't here, which makes me sad. But we can't mulligan it. We gotta do the thing. Fire Bluff Canal pass. Last ride. Combat. They might have a Burst of Lightning, they might have a Monstrous Rage. If they have a Burst Lightning, we're trying to draw it out. Okay, I'll go for the bat then. Let's get a look at this hand. Is it a Monstrous Rage? It's a Wild Ride. Also, there's an Opt, a Cutter, and a VV. Well, we take the Cutter. That is a pretty good Deep Cavern Bat. We're fortunate to be on the play. They do not cast the Opt. They are saving it. It looks like they plan to save all of these spells. Let's go to combat. Their plan is probably just to drop a VV next turn. Let's get our permanents on the field, and then on our turn we can go for the VV's throat. Or cut it down. There it is. The trend at the Pro Tour was untap with VV, win the game. We have no intention of letting that happen, but our opponent's lucky we don't have the lands to get VV back for ourselves. Let's use a cut down here. It's sheep. Can't cast it. Would love to. That would have been awesome. But we remain stuck on lands, which might end up costing us the game. Let's see the opponent's follow-up here. Do they have a VV? If we had a mana open it for go for the throat here, another VV wouldn't help them as much. But that's not the situation we find ourselves in. So if they have VV number 2, they might really go off. Nope, it's a Storm Chaser's talent. Into a sleight of hand. I mean, if they hit me really hard, that's not the worst thing that could happen. It plays right into my plan. Okay, they're casting a lot of their spells. That seems a little desperate. Maybe they really don't want VV to come back to me through the Tiny Bones. Do we go for a cut down on this card? I think we just attack. If they block, that's fine. Into the Flood Maw. Throwing an Otter, getting a Cutter. Okay. We still have the mana to recast that bat. We take that trade. We have a backup. Lose 2. Still a long way from a transformation, and the opponent's down to 11. So they have a stock up and a Cutter. I think we take the stock up and let them have the pump spell and the Cutter. The stock up is the gas that, like, they're going to get it back with a talent too, so that's the gas that puts them back in the game. Plus, getting our life total lowered is not the worst thing that could happen. Okay, they're going to take a Flood Maw. Ugh. Very obnoxious. Okay, well, we could duress them now. No, we can duress them after they bounce the bat. I'm going to try to bait for it. I really want... Well, let's see. If they... Oh, yeah, in response. So when do we want this to happen? We want to hit first. If they use the Flood Maw, we take the stock up. The last ride will do something soon, I swear. Yeah, so they do this. That's fine. But then we get the stock up. Nice. And we're in the situation we were a turn ago, but their life total is lower. It's a dance. We are dancing. 6 mana. They are not going for the Storm Chasers level up. I might have done that. They just play cut or pass. They want to do a couple wild rides. They might regret that when they know I have a bat. Yeah, I don't think that was a very good play. And then any permanents? There is a VV, but maybe next time. I think getting their last spell is a pretty good move. Hold up the cut down. Here we go. I mean, I'll get my life total low enough for this card someday, I swear. It's gonna happen. This has just been death by 1,000 little cuts as we try to keep them off their game. We've played Ring Around the Rosie with stock up. And it's working out. It's working out. So what is this card they drew? What does it do? If they had leveled up their talent last turn, then this turn, they would have had the cutter taken away. Then I guess if they needed to top deck a spell, and by the reaction over there, either they drew a very interesting card, or they are very unhappy with how this game turned out, or they had somewhere to be. However you want to phrase it. So, Nico, let's take this moment of self-reflection and enjoyment to remember to like and subscribe to the channel. If you like Magic the Gathering Arena videos in your YouTube feed, then you should hit the subscribe button, like, and hit the bell for notifications of when things go live. I do weekly videos at the time of this recording. I do weekly videos over here on the @Play MTG Arena channel, along with several other great creators. In the last month, we've seen Amazonian, my friend, playing Brawl, Ashlizzle, another one of my friends, playing Standard, and LVD Legend himself also playing Standard, also a friend of mine. So very happy for the kind of team effort over here on the Play MTG Arena channel. It's great to see creators getting supported this way as well. I remember the days before we got to do work on a channel like this, and it definitely provides a level of security and a level of just feeling of camaraderie that is different than it was in the past. So it's really cool, and a like and subscribe go a long way. Also, you're welcome to leave a comment. I do go back and read the comments on these videos pretty often. Thank you for, you know, all the snarky replies. I'm a bit of a snarky gamer myself. I'm not saying I don't deserve them. It's fun, and I love how into the game you guys get. So let's send them over. Let's set the opponent to 1. Let's cast VV. And oh my goodness, if I had 1 more mana, guys, if I had 1 more mana, we could kill them with their own VV trigger. Now, you could say, maybe I shouldn't do this. What if the opponent draws into the Floodmaw? What if they bounce VV, then cast VV, then cast a Burst Lightning, then cast a Wild Ride? What then, CGB? You'll be an idiot. And I'll say, if that happens, that's content, baby. That's what we're here for. But as that's not likely to happen, since I think our opponent has taken a bit of a vacation after a very tough game here. They needed to go maybe have a walk outside. I've been there. I have a beach. I'm actually on a body of water. So in days when the arena is cruel to me, I will always make sure I concede first. But then I often run out my back door and jump into the lake so I can cool down, you might say. I occasionally scream underwater. Don't worry about it. Magic's fun. Everything's fun. All right. Is it prowess? Dethroned. It is arguably the best deck in Standard, but not in this game. On the draw, we have removal spells and our 4/1 equipment friends. So if the opponent comes at us fast and furious, we can shoot down their stuff. And is this a duress? Always is when they play a swamp and then there's that little pause. 100%. Let's see what they take. They take a Greatsword, so they're going for threats. Oh, look at that. One duress deserves another. They run unstoppable slasher. I'll take their other duress. Duress games, my friends. This will just eat a go for the throat, but I guess that's what we do. All right, one go for the throat down. We see an Annex. We really need them to not draw land. That Annex could run away with the game. Okay, just a bat. See what they take. We want to get our Greatsword down. And take a cut down. That's a land, and we need to stop drawing land. Right now. That's too many land. Oh no. Oh no. Oh, they're still holding the Annex, so we could draw a duress or a bat here. Instead, we draw Midgar. So we want to kill the bat, get the cut down, kill the slasher. So sad that this isn't an instant. Sack the Greatsword? At this point, yes. It gets us somewhere. And I guess I'll get the last ride out of my hand and onto the battlefield. Okay, they topple land. What do they play? They get the Annex down. That Annex is going to destroy us. There's no question about that. That's the way it goes. There is a Dark Knight. Are you in time? Can you help us? We'll see. God knows the Annex gets out of hand so fast. And they drew another removal spell. Ugh, I hate this game. I hate this game sometimes. Another bat. So we have to do this. I should have attacked first, I think. And then we have to do this. And just a swamp, because I keep drawing lands. Up to 6 of them now. All right. It's another one. Paying 2 life won't be enough, but we might draw a duress here. Or something else that we need. Okay, that's a land. Cool. Love that. Pass. Oh my goodness. Come on, Dak. What are you doing? It's only 22 lands. I guess it has to be less. I mean, what else can we say? At this point, it's clear. At least they're paying a lot of life too, but there's no way. We have no shot here, right? Let's draw. Okay. The Greatsword is pretty nice. Because we can do this. We can pay the 3 to go here. We can play the Tiny Bones. We can crew the last ride. I guess I would crew it. It's crew 2, so it's got to be both. Now we can get a 7-pointer in. And trigger and transform and grow the last ride. Do we have a chance? Do we have a chance? There's no way we have a chance. Knock that off. What are they going to do? They're going to make a demon, sure. I mean, that's strong. They go to 11. But we have an 11-11 last ride. I mean, that's what we're here for, right? Just don't accidentally draw a card. Indestructible coming through. It's a good thing too, because we're about to lose a lot of the last ride's power here. As we drop them to 2, we gain back 7, and we cast a Deep Cavern Bat from their graveyard. And they're gonna scoop! How did we do that? I love this game sometimes.